Imam Razi has set up here in his scenario, and the scenario is where absolutely certain rational principle dictate that something is X, and on the other hand, texts seem to, at least the apparent or linguistically apparent meaning of the text indicates or leads to something which is opposite of X. So we have a situation where the apparent meaning of the text or the zahir of the text leads us to something which is exactly the opposite or the contradictory of what the absolutely rational principle leads us to believe. So what should we do in this situation? Now, there are four possibilities which Imam Razi discusses here. Now, the situation is where absolutely certain rational principle lead us to X, and the apparent meaning of the text leads us to, it's not the case X, in such a way that it leads to a contradiction in the sense that RC plus T is equal to X dot, or something like that. And this is a contradiction, and contradictions rules out two situations straight away. We can't both accept RC and T at the same time, because then we will be accepting X and as true, and that will lead us to a contradiction. And the second scenario is ruled out as well, where we will be rejecting both X and as false. And these two scenarios are ruled out by the definition of the contradiction. So if two things are contradictory, then we can't accept them as true at the same time. We can't accept them as false at the same time, because truth of one implies a falsehood of the other. So if I say X is true, that means so X is true here, so that means it is false, and true and false is false. And if I say X is false, that means X is false here and true here, and that again leads to something false. So, and neither the rational principle nor the Islamic text support believing in the falsehood or believing in contradiction by implication. Okay, so these first two possibilities are ruled out by both the rational principles as well as the Islamic texts. So now we'll look at the third possibility, but let us go back to the text and go